Hi everyone, it is Foul Play here, and I'm back here today for another Modern League. So for those of you that have been keeping up with what I've been doing on the weekend, I tested out some blue-white, and I've also been testing out Lurus again and Soul Guide Lantern. I've sort of come to the conclusion that I think Soul Guide Lantern is very, very good in the green-white version, but I don't think it's nearly as good in the blue-white version. So with the green-white version here, obviously we've got Rancor, which goes to the grave and you can get it back. You've got Sentinel's Eyes as well, goes to the grave and you can get it back. And Griffsburn, maybe a little bit more difficult to get back, but you can do it. So like a big issue I've had against Jund in like grindy matches against them is, you know, when they destroy my stuff and I don't get my auras back. So obviously Soul Guide Lantern's just going to give us a way to do that. It was very popular when Lurus was a thing. I think potentially even it might just be worth running it even if you don't have Lurus in your list. Just because it's such a powerful effect. Now I'm going to make just one extra change to my list here. Just because, how do I say it? I'll just add it this way, because otherwise I'm going to get the wrong art. The Suicide Zoo or Shadow decks now have access to that new 2-mana creature. So I think the full playset of Path is pretty necessary despite what list you go. So with this deck here today, I'm going to be running 3 Paths in the main, 1 in the sideboard over here. I'm going to give Lurus another league or 2 with green-white and see if I like it. To be honest, I'm not that impressed. It just never does anything, and it's just eating up a sideboard slot, but maybe it can prove me wrong here today. So I'm running my standard land base of 20 lands here. My standard creatures of 12, pardon me. So for 4 of auras, we're running the Ethereal Armor, so 1/1 for each enchantment and lifelink first strike. Sorry, no lifelink, just first strike. That would be broken. So for Griffsburn here, we're running 4 of that. So that gives you 1 power flying, and you can return it from the grave to a creature you control for 4 mana. For Hyena Umbra, we are running 4 as well. So that's 1/1 first strike and totem armor. We are running 4 Rancor, so 2 power, trample, and when it goes to the graveyard from the battlefield, return it to your hand. Sentinel's Eyes is 1/1 vigilance and escape for 1 mana and exile 2 cards. We're running that as a 2 of, and then we're running 2 of Spider Umbra for 1/1 reach and totem armor. So it was like playing around with minusing my number of green auras in the deck to play around Ether Gust and things, and I think if my playtesting over the weekend meant anything, it's the fact that they've sort of died and there's a lot more zoo happening at the moment. I think that was kind of narrow anyway and not where we want to be, but it was something I was testing. So then we've, of course, got the 4 Daybreak Coronet, very powerful aura. So 3/3 first strike and vigilance. Catches, another aura has to be attached onto the creature. A 1 of All That Glitters, just to give a little bit more of a power, like that 1 extra powerful aura to top deck. 3 Path to Exile for interaction with all these creature decks, so sideboard is Soul Guide Lantern, so when it enters the battlefield, exile target card from an opponent's graveyard. You can just tap it and exile each opponent's graveyard. Doesn't even need to target them. That's really sweet. Downside is I can't exile my graveyard if I wanted to do that to shrink a Tarmogoyf or something, but I think the upside is strong enough. Or you can just sack it to draw a card, which is also pretty powerful. The other thing is, if you manage your Sentinel's Eyes correctly as well, you can shrink the card type availability in your graveyard and shrink the Goyf that way too, so that's pretty cool. That 1 Path to Exile completing the playset. So 3 Gadok Teague for Tron decks, 1 Seal of Primordium. Really, really good synergy between Seal and Lurus. You can get it back from your graveyard and reoccur that destroy effect. The 2 Force of Vigor, very powerful, strong card for us. And the 4 Leyline of Sanctity to protect our hand a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and We are on green-white, so that is the right list. So we're going to go ahead and jump into it. So yeah, playing a little bit of blue-white if you haven't watched the video. Sort of interesting. It goes kind of... It plays differently, obviously, because one of your hexproof creatures is 2 mana, so sometimes you just like a turn too late. I think if you're on the play, it's not too bad. If you're on the draw, it feels pretty bad doing a turn 2 Invisible Stalker, though. You can sort of get away with it some of the times, but other times it's, you know, not where you want to be. So yeah, we're on the die roll. We are up against Burley, and we're going to select our companion and get on into it. Hand is looking pretty darn good, so I'm going to go ahead and keep. I think with it, the safest line is to lead with a turn 1 Horizon Canopy. And then save this fetch land potentially for a Dryad Arbor or a basic land, depending on what my opponent is on. Or just, you know, a Temple Garden next turn and just take 1 extra point of damage, which is totally fine. But yeah, obviously with all your counter spells, you're in a much better place against Lurrus type decks. Alright, so... Yep, I think we just go ahead and play this Temple Garden we drew. Drop double aura and attack for 4. Hopefully this isn't a mirror match, and if it is, hopefully we can find our path to exile for their core Spirit Dancer. They'd be slow rolling here. Blue, alright, so Stoneblade deck, you got it. So this is either going to get Batterskull or Feast and Famine, Sword of Feast and Famine. So that's a Batterskull. Well, our library is just loving us here, isn't it? That's a big old yikes. Fortunately, our opponent hasn't accomplished anything too much in the first couple of turns of the game. We can now go ahead and get a Lurrus. Just going to fetch the basic forest here. Conserve a little bit of life. So Lurrus in hand. Pass to my opponent. If they want to start interacting with my board, I can start getting my auras back, so that's fine. Not that there's many auras to return. Teferi. Alright, sure, that's fine as well. So bounce Ethereal Armor, I'm sure. Hyena Umbra, okay. I sort of smell a force of negation here into Supreme Verdict. Like, that just sort of feels like that's what's going to happen. Is there a good way to play around that is the question. So I could just play Core Spirit Dancer and Hyena Umbra, cast Hyena Umbra on the Scout, look to get that card draw value, potentially play another Hyena Umbra or Spider Umbra if I draw it. Could just attack this Teferi Time Reveler for 2. Yeah, look, I think we don't really want to play too timid. We do have the Lurrus to start getting stuff back from our graveyard anyway. We've got another Bogle in hand. I think this is fine, even if they do Force of Negation this. Alright, so no Force of Negation. Let's just keep cashing. And a Daybreak Coronet, so that's really good. I'm just going to attack my opponent here. We've got him very close to dead. Daybreak Coronet next turn is going to get our life total very nice and healthy. So they're casting Uro, which is really not that good. So it's a Bant Uro Stoneblade list. Interesting. So they do have enough mana to active the Batterskull this turn. They will have to chump block with either that or the Stoneforge Mystic. Drawing that is interesting. I think it means I start putting auras on my core spirit dancer and attack them with 2 creatures, so I can kill them this turn with first strike damage. Seems like the line. So this will, don't forget, buff my core spirit, my Glade Cover Scout, because I've got ethereal armor on it, and the 2 auras will just sideways buff. And core spirit dancer will go up to, I think, 8 as well, so this works pretty perfectly. So both creatures at my opponent. And if they, Stoneforge Mystic in the Batterskull here, they can only block 1 creature, right? So we'll just be good from that. If they do something else, they might get us, like Path Jump Block. But that's not like a winning game plan for them, right? Alright, so there is the path. I mean, that seems fine. We can get this back with Lurrus anyway. They're forced to chump block with Stoneforge Mystic now, which is not very good for them. Might as well play out this other scout while we can, or Bogle, sorry. So we have enough money. We have enough mana to cast Lurrus, cast Sentinel's Eyes from the grave using Escape, and cast Daybreak Coronet. We're 1 card short of doing that though in the grave. So if we top deck an aura or a fetch land, we can attack and kill them, regardless of what they're doing. I think they're just going to hardcast a Batterskull here. Oh, aura? Yep, sure. So they go up to 7. Oh man, they are close to being back in this. Oh, we just top deck that, and that's really OP. Alright, so I think we got maybe a little bit lucky here. Not going to complain though. And attack for lethal. Alright. So, Lurrus was actually really, really good there. We had, like, a really important time where we could, like, on turn 3, we didn't have anything else to do. We put it into our hand. Then turn 4, we had Core Spirit Dancer to start generating aura value when we were casting things. That Lurrus worked really well for us then. Really, really well. So Core Spirit Dancer probably not too bad in this matchup. I don't think I want all copies of it though. They're probably going to be sideboarding in Aether Gust, right? So we might want to trim on some green spells, although these green spells are kind of nice that we're bringing in. And that's synergy with Force of Vigor, which sucks. Flying is really good here. Vigilance might actually be our weakest 1-mana aura by the looks of things. I think maybe potentially I'm overboarding. I'll minus a Force of Vigor. And Soul Guide Lantern seems really good. Maybe just 1 less path. And then I can trim on all the glitters. And then that's fine. Alright, cool. So that looks pretty decent. I don't think we want to, like, rely on Core Spirit Dancer, but as you saw in that first game, she's a really good draw engine. So, like, obviously this hand I can't keep. I don't have an enabling thing. I'm on the draw. I don't have anything to pitch to Force of Vigor. It's just, like, an easy mull. Opponent's also mulligan to 6 here. No land. We've got to mull this too. I love all the cards in my hand. Like, oh, wow. 2 no-landers in a row. Holy cow. Alright, so we're going to keep this one. Bottom Spirit Dancer. We only get to keep 3 cards. So planes. Oh, we keep 4, sorry. Oh, we mulligan to 4. I think having the graveyard interaction is probably going to be better than just having the Hyena Umbra here. It's like worse against Stoneforge, but better against Uro. And I think the way we win this match is if they are going for the Uro route. Major punished. That sucks. Alright. That's fine though. If they do a turn 2 Uro here and we top deck a land, we're still just in like really good shape. Or, well, not really good shape, but we're like, we match their tempo, right? Is this a spell Queller? Are you flipping kidding me? What do I do against spell Queller here? Holy crap. Nothing? Do I give them a random Soul Guide Lantern? Alright, let's see if they counter this with Spell Queller. I can't attack them. So that's a bit of dyssynergy. We just ate like... Oh wait, no, we took out a Sentinel's Eyes. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I definitely smell a Spell Queller there. Ice Fang. Okay, maybe the coast was clear and I was just a little paranoid. Alright, that's really good. So, well, Ethereal Armor. We'll see if they had that Spell Queller after all. Alright, so our read was right. They just slow rolled it. Unless they drew it, which I don't think they did. I think they slow rolled it. Excuse me. So we'll cast our second one now. This Soul Guide Lantern, we can potentially cash it in as well. Just for a card draw. If we have a free mana. Far out. Excuse me. Alright, let's see what their turn 4 holds for us. Teferi, bounce Aetherval, I guess. Yeah, sure. Sorry, bounce Ethereal Armor. My brain's somewhere else tonight, I tell you. Yikes. Alright, so that stops us from... What are you doing with that Stoneforge Mystic? Oh, that's scary. So they drew the half of their deck which Soul Guide Lantern does nothing against. Sword of Feast and Famine on its way. Which will honestly probably be enough just to beat us. Let's cycle this Soul Guide Lantern to draw a card. Maybe we can double aura attack Teferi with like a Rancor or something. Griffsburn, almost good enough. I think we've got to try to attack it now, or else they just take over the game with their 2 flying creatures. I mean, what they're doing is probably going to be really good anyway, so... They can activate for sword, equip sword, attack, untap all their land, and then just hold up 5 or 6 mana for the rest of the game. And they're going to make us discard this Soul Guide Lantern, so we're going to lose out there. If we draw Daybreak Coronet, we might be okay. This is going to get protection now, though, but at least we have flying. Hope they have nothing. Another Spell Queller, that's game. Cryptic. That's game anyway. Alright, cool. So yeah, I guess mull to 4 on the draw against a hand in our sideboard stuff just blanks. Having seen what I've seen, I'm not a huge fan of Soul Guide Lantern here. I think I just want like the path and some more auras and maybe the extra force over the second Sentinels. We'll just go with that. So like, because path will interact with like Uro and their spell Queller, where Soul Guide Lantern's only going to interact with Uro. And that's just not good enough here. So we're going to mull this into a Teferi deck. Oh my god, what is with these hands? Holy cow. It's like I'm playing paper and I'm at a GP and I just haven't shuffled enough between rounds. And just all my cards are stacked wrong. Holy crap. Come on, man. This is not fair. Alright, we'll keep this one. We get to keep 4 cards, so we have to bottom 3. So bottom 1 land. Guess we just bottom Path and Sentinel's Eyes and hope to draw land here and do whatever else, you know. Alright, not great. Not great. 2 4 card hands in a row. I feel like an average 7 would have won this. Alright, so if they're holding up like a enchantment destroy effect here, at least we get it back. Okay, they just pitch a force. Whatever. Our opponent worked for it, but I guess it doesn't matter that they did the whole card disadvantage thing because they're up on cards anyway. Like, is my deck seriously doing this shit to me? Oh my god. Like, Spider Umbra is not a bad draw, but this Bogle is just so dead. Also, I don't think we want Gadok Teague here. I think that's a little bit too narrow. Because we saw Cryptic game too, right? But I don't think it's where we want to be. I think we've just low-rolled this pretty darn hard. So now they're either holding up Spell Queller or just Stoneforge Mystic activation. Mana Leak? Yeah, sure. Whatever. That doesn't matter. I really wish we drew land there or on this Bogle draw. We'd have punished our opponents so hard for whatever they're doing right now. If we curved out properly. So we get in for 2 points. We know about the Sword of Feast and Famine, so it's not a Batterskull, it's a sword. Alright, so I really, really hope we draw land here and they don't have another force. We don't need to tell them about the land. Our opponent's getting kind of low, but I don't think I want them to have Teferi and Sword of Feast and Famine. I think I'm going to take this Teferi down while I can. Okay, that worked. If they got Batterskull, I think I'd be more inclined to attack them. Maybe that's wrong. I don't know. Alright, so hardcast sword. That doesn't make any sense when they've got the sword. The Stoneforge activation. Alright, so now we can Daybreak Coronet and attack them. And, like, they don't have to chump block, but alright, we drew pretty well out of this. After all that happened, we did draw well out of this. Now we need either Grispoon or Rancor to just seal the deal. So if I top deck either of those cards, I just win. Oh my god. Holy crap. This is not a drill, guys. Hot damn. Alright, we took out Bant Tempo Blade Euro stuff. Just Bant good stuff, I suppose. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to leave a comment or a like down below. If you're new, be sure to subscribe for daily Bogles content. I do 3 leagues a week, and I'm running a blue league on the weekend from this time forward for at least the near future. Thanks guys, I'll see you next time.